right, Shalom, Israel, nations and kings and priests. We want to give, first and foremost, give all glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Out here to let the so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans let them know that the children of Israel. So we're going to start with the book of, give me Psalms, chapter 37, and start at verse 27. Well, he got the genes. I'm going to get the genes.
All right, this is in the Good New Translation, Psalms chapter 37 and verse 27. Turn away from evil and do good, and your descendants will always live in the land.
Stop right there. So the Bible says to turn away from evil and do good. And what's good in the eyes of the Lord? Keeping his commandments. Loving your brother as you love yourself. Not eating food that'll harm your body. Keep reading.
Verse 28. For the Lord loves what is right and does not abandon his faithful people.
Stop right there. So the Lord loves what is right and does not abandon his faithful people. I believe you read Jeremiah 31 and 35 earlier. Yeah, you can bring the little precept for that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me.
So right there. So the Lord let us know. What did it say? That the moon and the sun, right?
Yeah, they should lose their ordinance.
As long as the moon and the sun is here, the Lord will not abandon his children. Right? And then we just read that again in Psalms.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 28. For the Lord loves what is right and does not abandon his faithful people.
And that cuts what the Christian church tries to say, that there's no longer a chosen people, that God is no longer dealing with the Israelites. That's a lie. Because all throughout the Bible, Genesis to Revelations, he's dealing with one group of people on one seed line. You keep reading on that?
He protects them forever. But the descendants of the wicked will be driven out.
All right? And it says they will be driven out. What does that mean exactly? Luke 21, 24.
24?
Yeah.
This is the Gospel of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So Christ let us know that Jerusalem will be trodden down by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles has been fulfilled. So those people that are in the land today calling themselves Jews or saying they're Jewish and they're the children of God, that's a lie. And you said Revelation 2 and now lets us know that's a flat lie. Keep reading on that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 29. The righteous will possess the land and live in it forever. Verse 30. The words of good people are wise.
Hold up. Start right there. He protects them forever. Start right there.
Verse 28, for the Lord loves what is right and does not abandon his faithful people. He protects them forever. But the descendants of the wicked will be driven out.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Verse 29, the righteous will possess the land and live in it forever.
Stop right there. So Luke 21 and 24 let us know that the land of Israel will be trodden down by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles has been fulfilled. And the Psalm just let us know that the wicked will be driven out of that land and we will possess that land. That has not happened yet. So who's lying? The Bible or the church? Who's lying? Right? Bring that up.
So in regards to who the wicked are, right? This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
And that's plain upon tables, man. The Bible lets us know. Give me Job 9 and 24. The Bible lets us know who the wicked is, man. And before you read that, read this right quick.
All right, this is in the New Living Translation, Romans chapter 11, verse 29. For God's gifts and his call can never be withdrawn.
Never be withdrawn. And when you read the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 16, verse 16, it lets you know he made a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That can never be withdrawn. So who's lying? Right? And why were we taught that everybody can be saved now when God made a covenant with Israel? And Amos 3 lets us know he's only dealing with Israel. Psalms 147 lets us know he's only dealing with Israel. And Job 9 and 24. Bring that on.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
That's plain. Mahar, you got the GNT. Give me Mark 7 and 9 right quick. Because somebody's lying, man. And me personally, like all the brothers up here, we don't like liars, man. And that's what brought us into this truth. The lies that were told, and the truth sounded so good to us. But people who lack discipline, lack instructions, when they hear that good news, that gospel, they freak out, right? They think we're crazy. When the whole time you enjoy living in sin. You don't want instructions. You don't want the answers. Read that right quick. Mark 7 and 9 GNT.
Let me start at verse 8.
Okay.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 8, in the Good News Translation. You put aside God's command and obey human teachings.
Read that again.
You put aside God's command and obey human teachings.
And what do humans teach? Humans teach to celebrate Christmas. Humans teach you can love another man if you're a man. That's not what God told us to do, man. So somebody's lying here.
Bring it out.
And read verse 9.
Verse 9, and Jesus continued, you have a clever way of rejecting God's laws in order to uphold your own teaching.
And get the NLT too, man. Same thing. That's what the Christian church is literally doing. They're doing they're dancing around the Bible to uphold their lust for pork. Their lust for pagan holidays. Their lust for heathen women.
I got it.
We're just right quick.
All right, this is in the New Living Translation.
8 and 9 again.
Book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 8. For you ignore God's law and substitute your own tradition.
Keep going.
Verse 9. Then he said, you skillfully sidestep God's law in order to hold on to your own tradition.
And that's what your pastor's doing, your grandma's doing. That's what
Bring it out.
That's literally what they're doing. Just to hold on to what their mommy and daddy taught them. But when God tells them something, they make every excuse in the world not to do it because they're holding on to a false belief, a false teaching. So you got you got a precept?
About leaning on their own understanding. There's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3. I'm going to read verse 1 and verse 5. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. Verse 5.
Proverbs 12 and 1.
Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not on thy own understanding. Verse 7. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
And that's plain, man. Now I'm gonna show you why the Christian church and people who reject the truth are not coming into this thing. It's a reason. Bring that up.
All right, this is in the New Living Translation. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 1. To learn, you must love discipline.
Say that again.
To learn, you must love discipline.
Right there. That's why we're in the truth. We're learning because we love discipline. We love instruction. It's no discipline when you're calling yourself a nigger. There's no discipline when you think you're black. when you selling weed to feed your family, there's no discipline in it. That's why we came out of the world into the truth, because there's discipline in this book. And this book has literally changed our life forever. Is it more than that?
It is stupid to hate correction.
You see? It is stupid to, yeah, exactly. They hate correction. When I tell different family members about what's good and what's wrong, they hate that. They rather just live in sin and live in lies. And give me Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17 right quick. You might got the pocket. Got it right here. 6 and 17? Yeah.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. And
read that again. I'm sorry. Read that again.
For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
The desire of discipline. There it is again. That word, discipline. That's what the world is lacking. They have no type of discipline, right? Me and my brother would talk. It's similar to somebody being in the NBA, right? You got, I'm not trying to sound worldly, but let's just take Kobe Bryant, for example, right? A guy who was in the gym all day, and became a great basketball player. That took discipline. And then you got the guy who sits on the bench and is not in the game because he doesn't have that type of discipline. And it all goes hand in hand, man. We have discipline, the world doesn't. This is why when Yahushua comes back, those disciplined children, we will be the hopeful elect. Those rebellious children, they're gonna get put to death, man. Do you have anything?
It's a little more close.
Yeah, go ahead.
I already got the top. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. And the care of discipline is love. And love is keeping of her laws. And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption.
And
1 John 3:5.
Yeah, 1 John 3:5. There you go.
I got another one with discipline on it.
Yeah, read that. Bring that up.
This is in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
There it is again. So, you come into the truth, you tell family members, you're like, dang, why can't they get it? What's wrong with them? Well, you got to think. The difference between you and them is simply you had a desire to learn, you had a desire for knowledge, and you had a desire for discipline. And they were set in their ways already. That's why they would never come into this thing. They don't fear the Most High God, and they don't have any type of discipline. I can show a Bible verse where it says we're not supposed to work on the Sabbath day, and the family members would still work on Sabbath. That's no discipline. That's no fear of the Most High. If your mom told you to make your bed as a child, you would do that. So how come when God says don't do something, man, I ain't never heard that before, and I'm showing you out the Bible not to do that. So yeah, man. Yeah, bring that up.
Let me read this again. Reading again, Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 18. And love is keeping of her laws, and giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Let's see if that changed in the New Testament. This 1 John chapter 5 and verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep his commandments.
And do what?
And keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous.
What's that? If one says they love God and keep the commandments, they're alive. Was that 1 John? I mean, 1 John 3. I gotta prove that. 4 and 3.
You said you want the one that's the truth not in it? The liar.
Yeah.
1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments,
Jeremiah 20.
is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
And there's no truth in there. And that's and read 2 Thessalonians 2 and 13. And you're going to Jeremiah 23. That's plain upon table. So your Christian pastor is telling you that the law is done away with. What do you say? Something that drew your eye? You got a question or anything?
I have a question.
What's up, sis? Hey.
I passed by earlier and I saw the 12 tribes of Israel separated, and I want to know how you arrived at that.
Okay. Let me show you. So just to reiterate your question, right? You're asking how, let me fire just to but you're asking how we came to this understanding? Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's lots of books out, right? But I'll give you just a handful that I keep on available. Hebrewism, right? These people are descendants of Hebrews, then they became Israelites, right? So Hebrewism of West Africa. There's a whole book chronicling how the people in West Africa kept Hebraic customs, Hebraic feast days, Hebraic diets, Hebraic manner of clothing and mannerisms. So there's a whole book, and there's multiple books talking about how the Hebrews were in West Africa. Let me Acts 13:1. Hebrews, the view of the Hebrews of the tribes of the tribes of Israel in America. These are Native Americans. You see this on the bottom of their clothing, these fringes? That's these. These are our people wearing what the Bible commanded them to wear. There's no other reason that these people should all wear them with the border of blue, like the Bible tells us, with the border of blue. It's not a coincidence. These people kept certain things as a customary thing, traditional things. Even though they lost the scripts, right? They remember their mother always had that string on the bottom of her clothes, and in the blue. I don't have to teach you this. You saw it, and it passed on to generations. So that's why the Native Americans still dress like the children of Israel. Our ancestors dressed like this. And everything on their clothing, if you see Native American garbs, even like the Halloween costumes, you see those tassels and strings? That's from Numbers 15. Tell the children of Israel I bid them to wear fringes on the border of their garments. So they have borders here, fringes here, fringes here, fringes down their pants. Why did they do that? Because the Bible commanded the ancestors to do it. And they kept that tradition, that law that was given us. You got something? Oh, I was going to bring out, I got Acts 13, I got the Deuteronomy one about the fringes, right?
Okay, yeah, we'll bring out a few. So, is there derogatory terms for these people in the world today? There is, right? Does it start with an N? Okay, let's read the Bible. Now, the apostles of Christ, right? Christ was a Jew. You familiar? Okay. And the people he preached to at first were Jews. His people. Right. So the teachers and the apostles and the prophets at the beginning were Jews. Peter was a Jew. Paul was a Jew. Barnabas was a Jew. These are all Jews, right? So let's see what the Bible calls the Jews according to the New Testament. Read.
This is Acts 13, verse 1. Now they were in the church that was in Antioch.
So in the church, right? Read.
Certain prophets and teachers.
There were prophets according to the Bible, and there were teachers according to the Bible. The teachers of the New Testament, right? Teachers of Christ. Let's see what the teachers that were teaching the message of Christ were called in the Bible. Keep reading.
As Barnabas and Simeon.
Barnabas, Paul's friend, right? Simeon, the one that helped the Messiah carry the cross. Read, what were the Jews being called? The prophets, the teachers, to include Barnabas and Simeon. What were they being called?
That was called nigger.
What were they called?
That was called nigger.
Show her the Bible. She doesn't believe that's in there. Let's see.
And he gonna read the NLT after this. All right, now read the NLT right quick.
Right. This so is why would the Bible, right? And remember, they were called. They didn't call themselves. They were being called nigger. Who called these people nigger? The same Greco-Romans that were there at that time. They just used the Latin version of the word, Niger. That's where you get the English word nigger from. English comes from the Latin Greco language. English, if you look at its original and its words, like if you look in the medical field, science field, you name plants after the Grecian way of saying things. So they modeled their language off the Greco-Roman Empire because they're the descendants of the Greco-Romans. The people that were called in the Jews, niggers. And they still call us that to this day. It's just that they taught us to disconnect and not realize who we are. But the Bible just testified that the Jews, the teachers, and the prophets were called what?
Nigger.
Keep reading.
And Lucius and Cyrene.
Lucius of Cyrene. That's Luke that wrote the Gospel of Luke. It just called the Gospel of Luke author a nigger. Keep reading.
And Manian. Which had been brought up with Herod, the Tetrarch, and Saul.
Saul was later changed to Paul. Saul of Tarsus was called nigger too. He was confused for an Egyptian. Egyptians are Hamitic people, the sons of Ham, the sons of Africa. So why was Paul, if he was a Caucasian, being confused for an African?
He wasn't. The Jews, we are dark-skinned people, so we look like the Hamitic Africans. When Christ was fleeing from the Romans, he didn't flee to other Caucasians. He didn't go to Europe. He went to Africa, to Egypt, to hide around other dark-skinned people. And when the truth comes out, they gotta go. But Christ went to go hide when Moses was supposed to be killed as a baby, right? The ancient Egyptians were dark-skinned people. How is the Jews, which go through Moses, white people? Let me get number 12. How are the Jews white people, right? The king of the Egyptians said, kill all the Jews, kill all the Israelites. How is Moses a white person and he crept into an African man's house and hid and lived there for 40 years and nobody was the wiser? Moses had a sister called Miriam. Let's read about the sister. Numbers 12.
From the top?
Yeah.
This is Numbers chapter 12, verse 1.
Numbers, the Old Testament, right? It's talking about the times of Moses. Moses had a brother named Aaron that became high priest and a sister called Miriam. So let's see contextually what makes sense according to the context. Let's read.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman who have he made married.
So Ethiopians are dark-skinned people. Moses married an Ethiopian woman. What would Moses' child look like if he had children with a black woman? Right. But Moses, if you watch Hollywood, they'll paint him as a white man and they're painting his children as white people. They just say he had children with Ethiopian women. How is he a Caucasian? How is his children Caucasian? Let's keep reading.
For he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses?
They were jealous that the Most High spoke directly to Moses. Okay, let's keep reading.
Has he not spoken also by us?
Jealousy. Read.
And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
So Moses was a humble man, and God's about to step in to defend Moses, because Moses was humble. Let's keep reading.
And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation.
So God heard what they were saying. He was like, yo, come here. Like your parents, like they're mad at you, come here. Let's keep reading. Let's see the punishment that's about to happen.
And they three came out. And the Lord came down into the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth.
So he called his children forth, right? Let's read.
And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house.
So look, he's saying, why are you guys messing with Moses? I talked to Moses face to face. Why are you guys questioning him? Let's see what happens.
With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently and not in dark speeches.
Right, I'm going to speak to Moses face to face, clear as day. That's my guy. Let's read.
And the similitude of the Lord shall be behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
So that's my right-hand man. Y'all were crazy enough to talk against him? Let's see what happens.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed.
So God was angry at Miriam and Aaron, the one that he called forth. Let's see what happens to them.
And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle.
Are you familiar with Moses going into Egypt and he had the staff and it turned to a snake? It was a stick, right? That didn't have life, and he dropped it and became a living thing. He turned water into blood, right? The opposite. Water will give you life. You drink blood, you die, right? So there's opposites, right? Let's see what the opposite is. Let's keep reading.
And behold, Miriam became leprous.
What?
Leprous.
Miriam's punishment, she became leprous. Let's see what they describe leprosy as. Read.
White as snow.
So her punishment was to become white. How could she be a Caucasian woman? And God punished her, and I was like, you know what, white girl? I'll make you white. Or is she like an Ethiopian woman, a dark-skinned woman, and to punish her and let everybody know I'm punishing her, I'm going to turn her white, and everybody's going to see that punishment. Which one's the miracle? A white woman turning white, or a dark-skinned woman turning white as snow? And this is Moses' sister, same mother, same father. So if Miriam is dark-skinned, what color is Moses? Dark-skinned. His children with him and an Ethiopian woman, dark-skinned. Job 30:30. The children of Israel. Yeah, whoever got it.
Yeah. I was saying, can we show her in the NLT the voice of the black man?
Yeah.
Can you read that right quick?
All right, this is what they were reading earlier, Acts chapter 13, verse 1, but this is in the New Living Translation.
The same verse were called the Latins, the Romans were calling us niggers back then. We're going to read it in a different translation, see if it sounds different. Read.
Among the prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch of Syria were Barnabas, Simeon, called the black man?
Why do they teach us that we have nothing to do with the Bible? Why in Hollywood is always white Caucasians when the Bible verbatim said these are niggers, black men?
Black man, that's what it's called.
They whitewashed it. That's what happened. The same way they whitewashed everything because they have control of everything, they whitewashed us out of the Bible so we won't see ourselves in the Bible. Because if we saw ourselves in the Bible like we're supposed to, and I would treat you like my sister, I'll treat him like my brother, and we won't be gangbanging. But they need us to be in jails because that's use their system. They need us to be in, right. They need this. So they need to teach us the Christian church is what does it in particular. That forget God's laws. Forget that. You don't have to. You can be gay. You can be whatever you want. You can kill. You can eat whatever you want. Christianity teaches that. The Bible never said that. So let's read what you got there.
Oh, you talking about Job 30:30?
Job 30:30.
This is the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30. This is it says, "My skin is black upon me."
My skin is what?
Is black upon me.
Why the children of Israel again call himself black? But if you Google him on your phone, Job from the Bible, he'll be a white man. But Job verbatim said, "My skin is black." So why did they paint him as a white man? So me and you will not know we're Israelites. So me and my brother right here will know he's an Israelite. That's my brother right there, right? But right, all praises, all praises. But what we're saying, right? People that are unlearned, they won't know. We won't act like brothers. We'll kill each other because now we're not brothers. So what are we? Enemies?
Slave ship.
Yeah, But you see, Job, he comes out as a Caucasian. But verbatim, he testifies that I'm a black man, showing that they whitewashed the Bible and whitewashed us out of it. Bring it to God.
This is in the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black.
I am what?
I am black.
Keep reading.
But comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
Again, the children of Israel testifying, according to the Bible, that they're black people. It's only Christianity and in the West that they teach that the children of Israel were Caucasians. According to the Bible, they're black people, they're colored people, they're Latinos. But if you ask anybody on that side of the world, if you go to the Middle East and ask them, "Am I a Jew?" They will tell you, "Yeah, you're a Jew." How do they? They're not talking about religion. They looked at you and they were able to determine your ancestry. Why? Because they said they were like, "We're always going to be at war with the people of Israel," because they left black and came back white. How do you do that? If you put a whole bunch of black men on the island, a whole bunch of white men on the island, and women, the black, dark-skinned people will outpopulate every other race on that island. We'll outpopulate them, and our phenotype will be so dominant in that island where they will be out of existence. How did a nation of dark-skinned people that are testifying to be black and dark-skinned go to be white? When religiously in our law, it said you can't have sex with other people. You have to intermarry with your own nation. So if that was our practice, that we will only sleep with other Israelites. How did we go from a purely dark-skinned and melanated race, right, mixed colored, right, to being a purely white race when they have when they're genetic inferior and we're genetically superior and dominant? Right. The only place you can learn that foolishness is Christianity. Christianity would teach you you're a Hamite and everything else. But according to the Bible that we read, that everybody has in their house, the children of Israel are black people. Feel free, whatever question you got,
I read it every day, 5 in the morning, 5:30, and I'm getting it. I know. Because I've been watched.
So let me ask you. So in other words, man, like the brothers perfectly bringing out, this is literally our history, and these are our forefathers. So like, how did we get to this country? Slave ship.
I'm Jamaican, so.
Okay. So let me show you something. So this was prophesied to happen to I'm gonna read verse 15 and I'm gonna read verse 68, right? So Deuteronomy 28, all right, verse 15, it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the Lord, the voice of the Lord thy God."
So subject matter, this is Moses speaking to the children of Israel, right? He's saying, if you don't listen to what God's telling you, there's going to be consequences. Let's read.
"To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
right?
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee."
So God told our ancestors, if we don't keep the law, statute, commandments, if we don't obey him, right, that there's bad things going to follow, right? So let's read.
All right, but this is one of the curses. I answered the question, you said ships, slave ships, right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again." Before I read that, I'm going to give you the definition of Egypt, right? This is Exodus 20 and 2. It says, "I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." So Egypt is synonymous with bondage, slavery, right? Okay, back to Deuteronomy. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
How did we get here, sis?
Yeah.
And this is talking to the same niggers that was mentioned in Acts 13. It's saying, you black people, you're going to go into slavery by ships according to the Bible. Because you don't want to obey my commandments. You want to kill your brother, rob your sisters, you don't want to worship me, don't want to obey me. I'm going to give you to the people that want to destroy you. Until you turn and change from your ways. And start obeying me like I commanded you to since the Mount Sinai. But read it again for the top.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, into slavery again with ships.
And nobody in the course of history has ever gone into slavery via slave ships to a land that's not their own, been enslaved for 400 years, and have forgot who they were. That's never happened to nobody else in the existence of history. Why is it only happening to us? Because God made that promise and made sure that we're the only ones that are going to fulfill this promise. Finish it out.
All right, man, watch this. By the way whereof I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Because we weren't going to see that ancient Egypt again. He's talking about a new spiritual Egypt. When you read Revelations 11:8, it says, I'm going to spend you to it talks about a spiritual Egypt and a spiritual Sodom. If you look at the back of your dollar bill, what do you see there? An Egyptian eagle and an Egyptian pyramid. Why does that have to do with why? What does that have to do with America?
They mimic everything Egypt was.
It's mocking. It's mockery of the Bible and what's fulfilled in prophecy. It's God letting us know this is the Egypt that we are in. Keep reading. Finish it out.
Okay. I said, thou shalt see no more again, so we wouldn't see physical Egypt again. It'll be a new Egypt. And there you shall be sold unto your enemy.
And when we got here, weren't we sold? Keep reading.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Slave men and slave women. Keep reading.
And no man shall buy you.
And when you read it in Hebrew, it's qanah. When it means it buy back, like to redeem. Because if my brother was in slavery, I can qanah him. I can redeem him and pay his contract. Like, let's say he stole something and now they put him in slavery to pay off his debt. If I had the money, I could pay it off and qanah, redeem my brother. I can buy him out of his slavery. And it's saying that no man's going to redeem us out of this slavery. God himself is going to have to come, crack the clouds, and redeem us out of this last captivity. And that's what the book of Revelation is talking about. But let me get Jeremiah 16 and 19. Come.
16, 19. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 19. Oh Lord, my strength.
You look at the back of the bill. Did you see it?
I have a 10. It's different.
Oh, it should be $1, right?
Yeah, it's a dollar
Do
bill.
you have $1?
Nah, I have a picture normally, but oh, right here. Look. Right here. The Egyptian pyramid and the Egyptian eagle has nothing to do with America. It's because we're back in Egypt again, spiritual Egypt. Right. But we're so blind by Christianity, Catholicism, and Islam. The Egyptian pyramid, and if you Google the Egyptian eagle, it looks like that. It takes the same shape, the same wingspan. It looks just like that. That nation.
That's the one that have one eye.
Right.
Yes.
But it's also talking about, read verse 50, what is it, 54? 28, 54. Yeah, 28, 54.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
It's either 54 or 64.
You want to hit your brother and hit your wife?
No. Oh, it's like 49.
49. Deuteronomy 28, 49.
Now, mind you, right? What's the symbol here? The American eagle, correct? The same people that put us in slavery, correct? We're reading the same chapter that talked about our slavery. Let's see what else is mentioned. Read.
Start at 48? All right, just start at 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord will send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
When you want to eat, who do you have to go to for food? Is it black-owned businesses or is it their own businesses? When you want something to drink, your tap water, is it owned by our people or is it owned by their people? When you want clothes, Louis, Versace, Fendi, right? Who are you going to? Is it our people? Or are you going to their people, spending out your top dollar to give it to them? And want of everything, clothes, food, water. Read it again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
There's nothing we can get in this country. If we want our driver's license, we got to go to them. You want your passport, you got to go to them. You want to buy everything. You in want of all things. Read.
And this is the kicker right here. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
What is he going to do?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
These people will put a yoke of iron on the children of Israel's necks, and what else would they do?
And until he has destroyed thee.
So he destroyed our minds. He wants the body to work for him. He needs to destroy our minds so we don't know we're Israelites anymore, so we don't come back to God and our laws. Us loving each other where we're supposed to, treating each other like we're supposed to. Finish it out.
Hey sis, I want her to hear this. She asked the question.
We'll bring it up.
Yeah, we wanted to show you the eagle part in the Bible too. Yeah. This is verse 49.
Now mind, this is the same chapter, we didn't leave the chapter, this is the same slavery chapter. It's a list of curses that's coming upon us. The last one was slavery. But let's see which nation is identified as burners of slavery. Read.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Is America far from Africa? It's pretty far, right? I'm bringing a nation from far. Read.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as the what?
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Why does the Bible mention an eagle? Keep reading.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Did we speak English in Africa? We didn't know English. They taught us English. They taught us Spanish. They taught us French. We didn't speak those languages. A nation identified as an eagle that we don't talk their language. Read.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
And they show no mercy to none of us. So what's happening is, right, what's causing the confusion is these Jewish people took our name, our land, our titles, our customs, our culture, and are pretending to be us. That's why they're Jewish. We are Jews. The same way you can't be girl-ish. You're just a female. You're a girl or a woman, right? Yeah. But you can't be girl-ish. You're just behaving naturally. If he starts behaving like you, he's behaving girl-ish.
Like my grandma used to say, you're behaving boyish.
Right.
You know, running up and down.
Right, but that doesn't make you a male. Right, being Jewish doesn't make you a Jew then. Bluish doesn't make you blue. Reddish doesn't make you red. Ish means you're something like that, but you're not that. You're behaving like a boy, but you're not a boy. Right, you're behaving like a Jew, but you're not a Jew. What are you? Jewish.
Hey, I'm gonna read 54.
Listen, when I go to Palestine,
Right?
the people up there, I look at the true Jews in Palestine, they are brothers. And when you go, you see you can identify the Palestine, he is a white man. They are white.
Palestine or white?
The Palestine, they are white.
Today. Right, but is that the same people that were there 2,000 years ago?
They were there long time ago.
Right, but were they there 2,000 years ago? No.
Yeah.
No.
Because they were not
Until the conquest of the Levant.
They stay on the land.
You familiar with
They took only the Israel people, you know.
in ancient times, right? In the times of the Bible, those people were not the people of that land. If you study the history of the spread of Islam and stuff like that, you'll see how the Arabs started migrating and started pushing those people that were in that land out of that land. So the original Egyptians aren't the Egyptians today. If you ask an Egyptian today, are you the original Egyptian? He'll get mad because he understands that he's not the original Egyptian. The original Egyptians were children of Ham. They were Hamitic. Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, Japheth. Ham, the father of the Africans, right, had 4 sons, Put, Libya, Mizraim, and Cush. And Mizraim is the name where you say Egypt. So the Egyptians are sons of, the Egyptians and the Ethiopians are brothers and cousins. Think about it. There's no way those white people are cousins to Ethiopians.
Yeah.
What happens is, right, the same way they came here, and now they're calling themselves, they were in Europe 400 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And now they're here, now they're Americans. Wherever they go, they change their name. That doesn't change your blood. It doesn't change your family. They just keep, I moved from New York to Florida, now I'm a Floridian. You just change your name. That doesn't change your bloodline. That doesn't change who your father is. They just keep taking names and changing people's names to confuse people. But just because I take the name doesn't mean I belong here. These people call themselves Americans. They're not the original Americans, right? That's what they do. They've always done this all through history. They conquer the people of Africa and then name the place Africa. They just name things whatever they want. If they conquer and colonize, they change names of things. This place was called America 500 years ago. Right, what was it called? Right. So they change names to fit their agendas or whatever they want. But realistically, the Bible calls them Edomites. The colonizers, the ones who went around destroying the world, the Bible calls them Greco-Roman Empire, the Bible calls them the children of Edom.
The people that Israel people, where they coming from?
Tonight.
They said they're coming from Byzantium.
They are, when you look up their history, right? They'll tell you they're Sephardic Jews. They'll tell you the Ashkenazi Jews. Ashkenaz is the son of Japheth. Japheth is not a son, he's not Hebrew. How can you be a son of Ashkenaz, which is a Japhetic person, and be a son of a Shemitic person? That doesn't make no sense.
But what happened? Because they are blessed. They are very blessed.
Who's blessed?
They're keeping our commandments.
The Jews nowadays, they are very blessed.
Yeah.
You know, because they got their territory.
How did they get that territory?
I can say in
1948.
In 1948.
Right.
And then if you
who
go
gave them
now,
that territory?
The city is like Manhattan.
Right. Who gave them that?
Beautiful.
Who gave them the territory? God or that man gave them that territory?
I don't need to know, but they are rich.
Okay. The Bible says.
Come here in the United
Let's get
States,
Revelation.
they are rich.
Let's get Revelation.
That means where they go, they are rich.
Yeah.
That means they are blessed people.
This is Revelation.
So the people that call themselves Jews, right?
Yeah.
They're rich.
Which?
Okay, let's see what Christ says about the Jews at the end times. Read.
Revelations chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
Christ said, I know your works and I know your you're being persecuted, your tribulation, right? Talking to the Jews. Read.
And poverty.
And what?
And poverty.
He said they're rich.
Right?
Christ said they're poor. I'm saying these are the Jews, the poor people. You're saying those rich people are the Jews. Christ said the rich people, the Jews at the end times will be poor people. Are they poor?
No,
so they're not the Jews. Finish that out. They're not the Jews.
And I know the blasphemy
of blasphemy, a lie. Let's see who's lying.
Of them which say they are Jews.
People say they're Jews over there? They say they're Jews over there.
Yeah.
Blasphemy, it calls it. Read it again.
The blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
The lie of people that saying they're Jews at the end days.
They are blasphemy.
And are not.
And they're not Jews according to Christ.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
That's what Christ called them.
That's why they're so rich.
That's
right. Because they're in league with the devil, so the devil's blessing them. That's not God blessing them.
Bring it out. No, whatever. All the blessing is from God.
They're getting blessed by God.
Blessed, that means
God. Those are
no question about whatever story, because when you say God,
can Satan bless? Can Satan bless somebody?
Of course he can.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening with
when he took Christ right to the top of the mountain. He said, "I will give you all this land if you worship me." Satan had blessings to give. That's how they got their blessing. The same land he offered Christ, I'll give you this land. They were in Jerusalem. He took them to the mountain in Jerusalem and said, I'll give you this land if you worship me. And Christ said no. And then Satan gave it to somebody else. And they're there today. And that's who gave them. You look up the Balfour Declaration of 1918 and 1948, and you'll understand how they got that land. God didn't give them that land. According to the Bible, the Jews can't get back to that land until the deliverer, the Messiah, brings them back to that land. And it's not just the Jews, it's all 12 tribes. How did 3 of the 12 tribes come back and forgot about the other tribes? Where are the rest of them? According to the God of the Bible, I'm going to gather them and I'm going to bring them back. It's not no Balfour Declaration. It's not going to be England.
Yes, we are waiting for the time that God is going to gather them. But I would like to know if they're still in the same condition. The true Jew we are talking, because we never see
we are the true Jews of the Bible. We are the true Jews of the Bible. Read Acts 13 again. You probably weren't here for that. Let's get and then I'll let you go back to that.
Yeah. And then you get the NLT version too. Okay, let me get your file. You want to go to our website and YouTube channel?
So wait a second.
So where are we in the Bible?
No, I'm asking you, look. African American blacks, right?
Yeah.
West Indian blacks, right?
Yeah.
And Haitians, right?
Yeah.
Are they ever called nigger? These black people, do they ever call black people nigger? You ever heard that term? You heard that term, right? I'm not crazy. Read.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1.
The New Testament, after Christ died, these are Christ's disciples, his teachers, the apostles, and the prophets. Read.
Now there were in the church that was in Antioch.
In the church, the biblical church, read.
Certain prophets and teachers.
There were prophets, there were teachers, teaching the message of Christ. Read.
As Barnabas and Simeon.
Barnabas, close friend, and Simeon, the one who carried Christ's cross. Read.
That was called nigger.
What were the teachers called?
Nigger.
What were the prophets called?
Nigger.
What were the followers of Christ called?
Nigger.
That's what the Bible says. They're Jews. So, my question to you is, are those niggers over there?
No.
Those Caucasians, are they niggers?
No.
Because the Bible said the Jews are niggers.
No.
Are these people niggers? Thus saith the Lord.
He gonna read the NLT right.
Bring it out.
Read that right quick.
All right, it's the same verse in the New Living Translation, book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. Among the prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch of Syria were Barnabas, Simeon, called the black man.
Called the what?
Called the black man.
So the KJV says nigger, the NLT says the black man. Are those people called nigger or black man?
No.
So who are niggers? Who are called niggers and black men?
Right.
Are you called a black man?
Yes.
So are the Jews of the Bible.
Yeah, black.
You just have to say the truth. If you say the truth, you'll be set free.
Let's get. I wanted to show him that Satan can bless you. Okay, bring it up.
No, I don't want Satan to bless me.
No. He's blessing them.
No, I'm about to show him.
He's blessing them right here.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 20 and verse 9. It says there is a sinner that has good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss.
Read it again for time.
It says there is a sinner
There's a sinner. Pay attention, brother. There's sinners, like the ones over there. There's sinners that what?
that have good success.
That have what?
Good success.
Like you said, those sinners over there, those blasphemers that say they're Jews, that they're not, they have good success. Read.
In evil things.
And what?
Evil things.
And evil things. You know the people who teach these lies in Hollywood? Who owns all these Hollywood studios that teach? Right. Who owns all the pharmaceutical companies that are giving people drugs? Who owns every type of poisonous chemical company that is manufacturing? Right. So these are the people that are blessed from doing evil, from doing wicked, from destroying the earth.
Wicked people.
The people of Satan, the synagogue of Satan, thus saith the Lord.
Synagogue of Satan.
That say they're Jews, but they're not.
Yeah. They are not. They're
They're the liars. They're the liars. Modern day, we call them the colonizers, Europeans. They go by a lot of names. They change their names all the time, right?
Why they are always on the top and you are always on the bottom?
Because they
That's hard.
That's the Bible. If you want
And when you are in Christ, you're supposed to be blessed.
Suffering and
because you're the F. You're the F.
the reason we're on the bottom, right, is because we're not keeping God's laws. Once we start keeping God's laws, statutes, commandments, we will be uplifted to where we're supposed to be. Bring it out.
We don't want to obey.
He about to answer your question.
What was your say it again? He said, why are we on the bottom, right, and not the head?
Yeah.
Read.
This is in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Do Jewish people own the banks and lend us money? They're rich. They're the ones lending us money. Read.
He shall be the head.
Why is he on the top? Because one of the curses. The same people that lend us money, he's on the top. He's the head. And what? What is going to happen to us?
And thou shalt be the tail.
What's on the tail? The bottom. That answers your question straight to the Bible.
Dealing with. We the Israelites. Alright. We the Israelites. Alright. We the Israelites. Alright. Alright. Don't start nothing, then it wouldn't be nothing. Let me tell you who you messing with. We the Israelites. Alright. We the Israelites. Alright. We the Israelites. Alright. Yeah. Put on your fringes. Don't never cut your beard.